Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're diving into the epic and often bizarre world of Norse mythology to explore some of the most interesting and weirdest tales of Thor, the god of thunder. In today's video, we'll uncover few incredible stories where Thor faces giant challenges, unusual tasks, and unexpected twists. Trust me, you won't want to miss these legendary tales. So grab your hammer, sit back, and let's get started with the weirdest and most interesting tales of Thor from Norse mythology. Number 1. Journey to the Land of the Giants. Our story begins with Thor, the mighty god of thunder, and his mischievous companion Loki, setting out on a journey to Jotunheim, the land of the giants. Along with them are Thor's servant Thjalfi and his sister Roskva. Thor and his companions finish their journey and eventually reach the stronghold of Utgard-Loki, the king of the giants, who challenges them to prove their worth with a series of seemingly impossible tasks. First up is Loki, who claims he can out-eat anyone. He is pitted against a giant named Logi in an eating contest. Despite his best efforts, Loki is defeated as Logi devours not only the meat, but also the bones and the trough itself. Next is Thjalfi, renowned for his speed. He races against a giant named Hugi. But despite his swiftness, Thjalfi loses as Hugi effortlessly outpaces him. Then comes Thor's turn. His first challenge is to drink from a horn that Utgard-Loki claims can be emptied in 3 gulps. Thor drinks mightily, but the level barely drops. The second task is to lift a giant cat, which Thor struggles to even budge. His final challenge is to wrestle an old woman named Ellie. Despite his strength, Thor is unable to overpower her. Humiliated and frustrated, Thor and his companions prepare to leave. But before they go, Utgard-Loki reveals the truth. The horn was connected to the ocean, and Thor's drinking had significantly lowered the sea level. The cat was the Midgard serpent, whom Thor managed to lift off the ground with great effort. And Ellie was old age personified, an unbeatable opponent. Utgard-Loki explains that the illusions were meant to test their true strength and cunning. Impressed, yet wary, Thor raises his hammer, but Utgard-Loki and his stronghold vanish, leaving Thor and his companions bewildered in the wilderness. Number 2. Thor becomes a bride. Thor wakes up to find his mighty hammer, Mjolnir, missing. Panic sets in as Mjolnir is the source of Thor's immense power and protection. Desperate to find his hammer, Thor turns to Loki, the cunning trickster, for help. Loki borrows Freya's magical feather cloak to fly to Jotunheim, the land of the giants, in search of Mjolnir. There, he discovers that the hammer has been stolen by the giant Thrym. The giant said he will only return Mjolnir if the gods hand over Freya to be his bride. Loki returns to Asgard with the grim news, but Freya flatly refuses. With no other options, Loki devises a bold and hilarious plan. Thor will disguise himself as Freya and attend the wedding feast in Jotunheim. Despite his reluctance, Thor agrees, and the gods dress him in a bridal gown and veil. Loki, disguised as a bridesmaid, accompanies Thor to Thrym's hall. The giants are overjoyed at Freya's arrival, and the wedding feast begins. Thor's voracious appetite nearly gives him away as he devours an entire ox, 8 salmon, and 3 barrels of mead. Suspicious, Thrym questions Loki, who quickly explains that Freya was so eager for the wedding that she hasn't eaten in 8 days. Thrym proceeds with the ceremony. He places Mjolnir in Freya's lap as part of the ritual to sanctify the marriage. At that moment, Thor throws off his disguise, grabs Mjolnir and reveals his true identity. With a mighty roar, he strikes down Thrym and all the giants in the hall, reclaiming his hammer and restoring his honor.
Number 3. Thor and the Dwarfs' trials. The mighty Thor finds himself in need of a powerful magical item. His journey leads him to Svartalfheim, the land of the dwarfs, renowned for their unparalleled craftsmanship and cunning. The dwarfs, busy with their creations, look up in awe and curiosity as the thunder god approaches. He announces his need for a powerful item, something only the master craftsman of Svartalfheim could forge. The dwarf king, Eitri, steps forward. He agrees to help Thor, but only if Thor can prove his worthiness by completing a series of challenges. The first challenge tests Thor's strength. He is led to a massive anvil that even the strongest dwarfs struggle to lift. With a single heave, Thor raises the anvil high above his head, impressing the dwarfs and passing the first test. Next, Eitri tests Thor's agility. Thor is taken to a dark cavern filled with narrow, winding passages. The dwarfs challenge him to navigate through the labyrinthine tunnels faster than their swiftest runner. With lightning speed, Thor dashes through the tunnels, emerging victorious on the other side. For the final test, Thor's wisdom is put to trial. He is given a riddle by the dwarf king, a puzzle that has stumped many. Some sources claim the riddle would be, "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, and I can drown. What am I?" Thor, known more for his brawn than his brain, surprises everyone by solving the riddle with clever insight. His successful answers confirm his worthiness. Eitri and his brother Brokkr set to work, their hammers ringing through the halls of Svartalfheim. They forge a magnificent item, an unbreakable chain called Gleipnir, meant to bind the monstrous wolf Fenrir. They also create other treasures, such as a golden arm ring that multiplies wealth and a ship that can sail on any sea. As Thor receives the magical chain, he is filled with gratitude and sets out on his journey back to Asgard. And that brings us to the end of our journey through some of the most fascinating and adventurous tales of Thor. We hope you enjoyed diving into these legendary tales as much as we did. Each story offers a glimpse into the rich tapestry of Norse mythology, filled with gods, giants, and magical creatures. Thank you so much for watching. If you loved these tales, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and let us know which Thor tale is your favorite, or if there's another myth you'd like us to explore. Until next time, may your adventures be as epic as Thor's. Bye and see you next time.